Hey, welcome back to Adam's Brick Reviews. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build the Berlin Make It Blocks construction set. This is $3 at the Dollar Tree. It's 199 pieces, and it is kind of like Lego architecture sets. Now you get to build 3 buildings, and I may butcher the names of this name of the first one here, but it's the Reichstag Building. And then the next one you build is Bahntower, which shout out to Hashpling here on YouTube for helping me identify that one because I could not find it. And then lastly is the Berlin TV Tower. So let's get started building and see how fun this one is. Okay, here are the parts for step 1. If you need to see these longer, just hit that pause button. But let's go ahead and get started building. First thing you want is this large piece here. Just place that down. Take the 2x2 and place it right next to it. Next to that, you're going to do the one that has the pegs facing the front too, the studs there. Just right there. And then the other black piece will go across the top there. Now to hold these together, we're going to go ahead and start with one of the 2x4 grays, and it's just going to go right next to where that bump is. So it'll actually hold all these pieces together. Once it's held together, it's much easier to work with. Now we can figure out exactly what else we have to do. We're going to want one of the 1x2 flats, and it's going to just go right on that spot, right next to there. Along this edge is going to be a 1x4 flat piece, and that will actually hold the last piece connected as well. So now we just have kind of one big piece. Makes it much easier to work with. On the back edge, we're going to take 2 of the 1x2 flats and line them up there. Then we're going to skip all the way to here. So we'll leave 1, 2, 3, 4 open pegs. And then we'll put another 1x2 flat, and then another one right next to that. And then this 2x4 flat gray is going to go up and down right next to that one, just like that. The other side will get a 1x2 flat, and then the 1x4 flat going all the way down, just like that. And then you're going to use these weird ones that have the 2 studs on top. And they're going to go right there. And right there. And then 1x2 flat under that. 1x2 flat on the bottom. And then this strange one is going to go in that hole there. And now we have a few of these left, which are going to go right here, here, and here. And you'll notice one of them has the usual Dollar Tree Greenbrier International stuff on it. Not sure if it matters where that goes. Not sure if we'll be able to completely cover it or not, but we'll find out. So that's it for step 1. Let's move on to step 2. Okay, here are the parts for step 2. Again, pause if you need to, but I'm going to get started building. So this is that first piece we made from part 1. We're just going to be building on these black open spots here. So first, we want to find the pieces that look like this. There should be 2 of them for this step, and they're going to go right here, and then right here. And then we have 4 of them that are just the 1x2 tall with the flat sides. And they're going to go here. And here. And the same on the other side. Here. And here. If I can fix my focus. There we go. Okay. Next, let's take this black one and set it right next to that one, and take 2 of these with the opening facing the center of this little black section, and we will connect these pieces together. Take the other two and we're going to make this a cube. So let's just do that and that. Then we're going to take our 4 1x1 tall ones and put one on each corner. Might have been easier to do those first, but this lets you know exactly what spot they go in and makes it easier. So there's that. The last piece in this step is this flat piece, which is just going to hook onto these studs that are hanging off the front here. Just like that. And then the last step, we'll put the sticker on. So I don't know why they bother to have me put it on, because I'll end up taking it off to attach the sticker anyway. That's it for step 2. Let's move on to step 3. Okay, here are the parts for step 3. First thing we're going to want to do is tackle the little green box. So we're going to do this twice. We're going to take one of these ones that have the holes in the front. We're going to attach the 2x2 to it. And then in front of that, you're going to put these ones like that on both sides. And set that out of the way for right now and do the other one. And what works out really nicely with the piece I'm making now is it will end up covering the Greenbrier International wording there. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and attach more pieces. Now, if you remember, we had these ones with the little groove in it here. We have 2 more of those, and they're going to go right on top of the other 2. Directly behind them, we're going to do 2 of the little tall 1x2s. And that's on both sides. Just like that. And then next to that is going to be the piece we just made from the green box. Next to those will be more of the 1x's, which will then be on the other corners back here as well. If I don't break everything. We're going to take the 2 L-shaped ones we got, and they will go somewhere. That's helpful, right? Okay, they're going to go on those 3, and then those 3. So like that, and that. Take your 2 little bench-looking things, and they will go in these 4 open spots here. So just like that. This, with the like pillars, is going to go right here. And then you're going to use these 2 things that step down and put them on either side of it. So to go there, and probably would have been easier to do this side first. There. So that's what we end up with after step 3. Let's go ahead and move on to step 4. Okay, here are the parts for step 4. Let's go ahead and start building. Let's go ahead and start with our little L-shaped ones, because it looks like it's going to go all around the edge of this opening we have here. Like that. And then we're going to take our ring we have, and that will go on top of it. Just like that. Easy enough. We're going to take these dark gray 2x2 squares, and they're going to go on top of everything on the sides here. Just like that. Oh, my bad. Messing everything up here. Okay, so we're going to take these flat 1x1s, and they're going to go right in the back side of this on both sides. So it'll be there, 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 and there. good enough. Right in front of those, we're going to have 2 of these on each side. So directly in front of the ones we just put on, we're putting on one of these little round ones. I like when it's symmetrical because it makes it easier to do for video. In the front side of each of these, we're going to put this, the one with a little lip on the bottom, and the hole in the front. And that's going to go just on the 2 edges here and here. And then right behind these ones, you're going to do these plain 1x1 tall ones. So there and there. I know none of these are straight. That's fine. It'll still work. So there's what we have at the end of step 4. Step 5, we get to put the dome on. So let's go ahead and get started on step 5. Okay, here are the parts for step 5. Let's start with these here. And they're just going to go on top of these 2 on the edges. On top of those, we're going to put these ones with the 1 stud in the center. Maybe, there we go. On top of each of those, we're going to put one of these little 1x1 flat pieces. Now we're going to take a bunch of these little things and we're going to stack 2 on top of each other. We're going to do that twice. And those 2 are going to go right here in the center above those. And then beside them, you're going to do the one that's only 1 high, like that. Now we're going to put these little wedges on. Right there, right here. So the higher end just basically faces towards the center. And we'll do the other ones on top of the 2 stack. If I can pick it up. My fingers are a little big. That was kind of funny. Actually, that was very funny. Oh, I know I'm going to be making a short out of that one. Okay, so there's that. The last thing in this step is going to be the dome, which will fit right on top of the circle that was in the back. Just a matter of lining it up right so it'll hook down. Maybe it doesn't hook down, maybe it just sits on. Yeah, because it just rotates around. So maybe it just sits on and doesn't actually hook in. Whatever. Still looks cool. Just means you can't tip it. Okay, that's it for step 5, which is the last of this building. Now we will get started on the Bahntower for step 6. Okay, here are all of the parts for step 6. Make sure when you grab this piece, you go with the one that has the 1 completely flat side with the 4 weird studs right there. And what you want to do is take this guy here and slide it in. Oops, come on, go, there. And then you're going to use these ones with the extra stud popping out in 2 directions. And you're going to have that stud face up when it's like this. So that is actually it for step 6. Let's move on to step 7. Okay, here are all of the parts for step 7, and what we want to do is tackle the little green box first, and we're going to do the same thing 4 times. So we're going to put the little 1x2 on top of another 1x2. I'm just going to do that step 4 times, then I'll move on to the next part. So it's 2 of these together. And then on top of those, we're going to put these ones. They have, just my light, maybe we can actually see them. There we go. They have like a stud coming out of two different sides. And we're gonna put those on just kind of flats away from each other. These two studs in the same direction, two in opposite directions. So it'll look like that when it's done. So there's studs here, here, and on top. And we're gonna do that same thing for all of them. Sorry, I know the lighting's not great. It's very hard when the pieces are just black. Let's see if I turn this on, if it'll help. But like I said, we're doing this 4 times, so we have 4 of this piece. And they are going to stack on top of each other, on top of this other one we made. So they're going to just, I think the studs will face the same direction these ones did. So at the end of step 7, we have this. Let's move on to step 8. Okay, here are all the parts for step 8. Let's go ahead and tackle this first green box. So we're going to want one of the, what is it, 6 and a 4. And then we're actually going to do another 6 and 4, but we're going to do them the opposite. So we'll like that. Maybe, come on, there. And then a 4 up here. And then we're going to take 2 of these wedges, which is the longer ones, and we're going to hold it this way, and the higher part will face to the right. Then we're going to put another one under it, and then the rest of the way, all the way to the bottom, we're going to use the little 1 wide wedges all the way the same direction. Not sure why they did some 2 wide, some 1 wide, but hopefully it at least gives it a different kind of look when it's done, because you can see the slits between them. There's that. Okay, so that's that one. And then it's actually going to hook onto the side of the piece we had already made, even with the top. So like that. Snap it all the way down. Now let's work on the other side, which will have the 6 above the 4. And there will be a 3 here. 1 by 3, I guess I should say. And then another 1 by 3 right here. And then the longer wedges. Higher side facing to the right with how I'm currently holding it. Just like that. On top of these 3, we're going to put this flat piece. This kind of wobbles a little bit. And under it, we're going to put these 2 black little wedges and this red little wedge, and they're going to actually have the taller part facing that direction. And it'll be black, black, red. So the red will be the very tip. So that. And now we'll attach this here. We're going to actually put the red up, and it'll be, again, even with the top of this, just like that. So at the end of step 8, this is what we have. Let's move on to step 9. Okay, here we are at part 9, or step 9. First thing is going to be to put this on even with the top, which actually makes it even with the bottom as well. Snap that all the way down. The top will be capped with a 1x2 flat piece. And then we have 20 of this little wedge piece. And there's going to hook on all the way down the line, top to bottom, both sides. So I'll go ahead and do that right now, and I'll most likely speed this up because no one wants to watch that. Okay, last one. There we go. That is it for step 9. Let's go ahead and move on to step 10. Okay, here are the parts for step 10. It is really just part 5 from step 5, which was this base that we made, and then from step 9, which was this tower. And all we're doing is taking this hole on the bottom and sticking it right there, angled that way so that you have access to these. So that is it for step 10. Now we're going to move on to step 11, which is the Berlin TV tower. Okay, here are the pieces for step 11. As usual, let's tackle our little green box first, which is simply sticking this inside the white thing like that. And then we will put it on top of this stick, put the stick in the top of this. Looks like it should go pretty much all the way down. So there we go. That's step 11. Let's move on to step 12. Okay, here are the parts for step 12. Let's tackle the green boxes first. We're going to do it 4 times. We're just going to take one of these black pieces and stick it inside one of the white pieces. Okay, now that's done, we will start piling them on top of the tower pieces we've already done for this one. So we'll just stick that in there, stick the next one in there, next one in there, and the last one right there. So after step 12, you have this. Let's move on to step 13. Okay, here are the parts for step 13. Green box as usual. So take the 2 of these and kind of stick them together. And then on top of, well, on the bottom, we'll stick this stick all the way through. All the way through, so it should go all the way down to where that lip was. And then we're going to put this on top of that. And this piece is actually going to go into the end of what we were working on in the last step. Maybe. If I can get it in. There we go. And then that is going to stick into that. Just like that. It's a little flimsy, but it'll be good. Let's move on to step 14. Okay, here are all the pieces for step 14. Let's tackle this green box first, and we're doing it twice again. So we're going to take the lighter color and the darker color and stack them together with the lighter color inside. And then on top of that, we're going to put the lighter small one, so you have that. And we're doing that twice. So lighter inside, and then on top of it, the small one. And then we are going to slide them on here like this. So that should go all the way through. And then the other one will go on top like that. So just like that is what you have at the end of step 14. Let's move on to step 15. Okay, here are all of the parts for step 15. Let's go ahead and finish this off. So first we're going to take this one that has the little squares on, or pegs on all sides. Put it right there. We're going to stack the red, white, without holes. So neither of these ones have holes. And then you'll do the red with a hole, the white with a hole. And then the stick will go inside there. Whole thing will snap onto there. And that is step 15. Let's move on to step 16. Okay, here are the parts for step 16. It's really just step 10, which was after we added the other tower, and step 15 together, which all we're doing is setting that tower on, just like that. So now there is the full, that is a tall one. You can see my light. Anyway, oh, my light died. That's why it's so dark. I'll have to recharge that. But all that's left to do on this build is add this sticker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And all the sticker says is Berlin. And it's going to be super crooked, and I might not like that. Let me see. Make it easier. Take it off. And then stick it on. Yeah, that'll work. Good enough. There we go. There is the whole build. It was pretty fun to do. It was pretty easy, as you saw. The instructions on this one were not nearly as bad as a lot of the Make It Blocks ones. I definitely recommend picking it up. $3 for 199 pieces to make a mini Berlin is a bargain. It's going to look great on my shelf next to the Golden Gate Bridge and Tokyo. And then I still have Venice to do next. So definitely would recommend grabbing this if you come across it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, tap the like button, subscribe so you don't miss new content, and have a great day.